Hello everyone. Welcome to Confessions Jury, where people put themselves on the spot, waiting for your judgment. Sit comfortably and listen carefully, as you're about to hear today's cases. You hold the hammer and you apply the law. Let us have your verdict down in the comments section. As always, don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Let's head on to our first case. Case 1. Am I the bad person for making my sister almost lose her job after I refused to babysit for her ever again, after I found out she's sleeping with her deadbeat ex, but not expecting him to help with his son? My mom says I overreacted and that I'm being a huge asshole, but I just feel so used. I, 24F, have an older sister, 27F, who has a 9-month-old son. She doesn't make enough to pay for daycare in our area, but makes too much to qualify for assistance, so me and my mom help her with her baby. My mom watches him Tuesday and Thursday, and I watch him Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm in grad school and take my classes online, so it's been a struggle to watch a baby and also be in my Zooms and do my work, but it's worth it since I love my nephew. We all live together, by the way. My sister has been a single mom from the beginning. He denies being the dad, sent her horrible messages, and is a deadbeat. He wasn't at the birth, not on the BC, and hasn't seen his son ever. A complete deadbeat. She put him on child support, but he works under the table and doesn't pay anything because she says he's unemployed but has the money to live. Honestly, I feel like a single mom at this point with how much I help her, so it disgusts me with how big of a deadbeat he is. There's times when my mom is watching him and gets called into work and I have to watch him even if I had watched him the entire day before. My sister also works as a hotel manager and gets called in all the time to cover shifts, so there's time when it's 11 p.m. and she wakes me up to watch him so she can go to work. I had no issue helping my sister until I found out she was still sleeping with her ex. The same ex that denied and insulted her child, has never met him, and has never done anything for him. Right before finals last semester, my sister woke me up at 11 p.m. to tell me the night audit girl called out and she had to go into cover for her. I had a huge proctored test the next day but agreed because my mom was working in overnight, so there was no one else. He was up all night crying, so by the time she got back at 7 a.m. I was exhausted and I ended up not doing that well on my test. I was fine with this until a few days ago when I got home and overheard my sister gushing on the phone about sex with a guy, and I was surprised since I didn't know she was seeing anyone, and I asked her who she was talking about. She looked so shocked I was back and overheard, and she ignored me, but her friend on the phone said, "Oh, she doesn't know you've been fucking Jake again?" Jake is her deadbeat BD. I was so shocked. My sister looked so guilty and hung up the phone and broke down crying, saying she's been hanging out with her ex for the past 2 months, the deadbeat ex. The one that's a deadbeat. To her kid. I was disgusted. She told me she just loves him so much and missed him. I asked her with how much she works how the hell was she able to see him, and she told me she would meet him at rooms at her job and lie to me and my mom about working. I asked her if the night she left before my test was it a real shift or fake, and she said fake. That's when I lost it on her and told her she's disgusting. That wasn't the first assignment I had to sacrifice time with because of her going to work at all hours of the day, but she knew this was an important final I had in the morning, and still lied about working just to sleep with her deadbeat ex? I've never felt so disrespected. I told her that me and my mom have been bending backwards to be her baby daddy since the actual one won't step up, and that her sleeping with him is not just a slap in the face to me and my mom, but to her son. Sleeping with an ex that did you wrong is one thing, but one that got you pregnant, abandoned you to take care of your child alone, and is a deadbeat is just pathetic. She said she can't believe that I'm mad and it's her body and she can sleep with whoever she wants. I told her that she can ask him to watch his son since they seem to be in good terms, and that I will never watch her son again. If the father isn't expected to be a dad and is rewarded for it, why should I? I just can't wrap my mind around how a woman can be turned on by a man that is a deadbeat to her own child. But will give me and my mom attitude if we make plans because it can interfere with her child care? I don't know if she thought I was joking, but yesterday she came into my room since Friday is the day I watch her son, and she placed him on my bed and walked out, dressed to go to work. I picked him up and followed her and told her that she can take him to his father because I won't be watching him. Not even for pay. She started crying, asking if I'm serious, and I said I was very serious. She can message him to sleep with him, but she can't ask him to watch his child? According to her, he's unemployed, so surely he has the time? She said he doesn't want to watch him, and I told her, oh well. She ended up leaving with him and brought him to her friend, but she arrived to work late and the regional manager was there and she got written up for being 30 minutes late. She told my mom and they're both so mad at me and have been giving me the silent treatment, but my mom says she's disappointed in me since no matter what we need to support my nephew, and no matter my sister's choices, I shouldn't let it stop me from being a good aunt. And am I the bad person? Am I really? What do you guys think? Lay down your ruling in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 2. Am I the bad person for telling my neglectful father's wife I don't care if her unborn kids are my father's and I don't owe her a thing? My father and his wife have a 25-year on and off relationship and marriage. My father had me, 19M, with someone else, and his wife had a daughter, 16-ish now, with someone else. At one time, the four of us lived together for about 4 years. I was neglected badly in that time and was eventually removed by CPS and placed with my aunts. They helped me get back on track after a really shitty time. My mother was an addict and wasn't any better, and the only reason I lived with my father is because she OD'd and died. The wife's daughter wasn't really treated much better, but she got a little more and she wasn't removed like I was. I had nothing more to do with them. But then a few weeks ago his wife DM'd me on Facebook. My father's in jail and she claims she's expecting his baby and she needs me to help. She wanted me to move in and help pay bills and help with the baby and make sure she has support for her delivery. I ignored her and blocked the account, but then another account, which is clearly also hers, DM'd me and told me I was going to have a sibling and I should do something to make sure the baby's okay. I told her I didn't believe for 1 second the baby is his, but even if the kid is, I don't owe her a thing and that I wasn't going to reply again. I blocked that account and I didn't respond when more messages came from different accounts. But she's basically telling me I should care if the baby is his and I should be a better man than him. To me, this kid, whether they're his or not, is nothing to do with me, and I'm not the father, so I feel like I have zero responsibility. But maybe I am the bad person for feeling that way and saying what I did. Am I the bad person? What do you guys think of this one? Let us know in the comments section and let's move on to our next story. Case 3. Am I the bad person for secretly outbidding my in-laws for a house on our block? My wife has a somewhat difficult relationship with her parents. The usual stuff you see on this sub: lack of respect for boundaries, bossiness, unsolicited opinions about personal choices. She has a hard time pushing back, in part because she is a natural people pleaser, and in part because her parents paid for her long and expensive education. I don't have big issues with them, but then I don't have any problem saying no to my elders, having left home for college at 16 and having become pretty wealthy before 30. We, with 2 young kids, moved far from her parents a few years ago, and some distance helped the relationship. In-laws split their time between my wife's natal city and California. Recently, MIL finally retired, and they started making noises about selling their primary residence and buying near us. Until fairly recently, though, it seemed like no more than a velleity. A few weeks ago, a house 2 doors down from us, we live in a somewhat secluded neighborhood with few houses and low turnover, went on the market. In-laws excitedly told us they were putting a bid in. Their sense of entitlement extends to real estate and they put in a low bid full of conditions. Still, my wife was very worried. She does not want them as neighbors. Neither do I, nor do I want to see a rare modest home in our area go to a part-time resident when housing is scarce here. I quickly formed an LLC and bid full ask. I can afford it. It was accepted, we closed shortly, and I plan to rent it out. Rental housing is very hard to find here, and leave management to an agency. I did not tell my wife. Our finances are mostly separate. I did not want to put her in a position where she would have to lie to her parents or reveal what would be taken as a very provocative action. The in-laws raged against the mystery person who gazumped them, the seller, the realtor. I just nodded sympathetically. I've told no one but my brother. He told me it was a bad person move. That surprised me, so I am wondering what outside observers think of what I did. You've sat down, you've listened. Now, it's time to state your ruling. What is it gonna be? Let us have it down in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching. Please like this video if you enjoyed it and subscribe for more cases like these. In life, we may run, but we can never hide from true justice. Stay safe, everyone.